Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for coming out today. It's a beautiful day, perfect weather for this glorious celebration of the outdoor classroom and tiny forest here at Houston Elementary. And before we get started, my name is Mark May, Director of Communications for McAllen I.S.D. We have a lot of special guests here today that I'd like to recognize before we get started. First of all, starting with our leadership for McAllen I.S.D., our School Board of Trustees is well represented. We have our President, Debbie Crane Aliceda, our Vice President, Sam Salivar Jr., our Secretary, Sofia Pena, Trustee Elizabeth Kittleman, and Trustee Daniel Rivera. And then also representing our administrative leadership, our Superintendent, Dr. Rene Gutierrez. You'll hear more from him shortly. Also our Deputy Superintendent for Business and Operations, Lorena Garcia. Associate Superintendent for Instructional Services, Dr. Rosaba de Hoyos. Associate Superintendent for Instructional Leadership, Jeanette Nino. And Director of Human Resources, Olga Mendez. And then representing our fine city from District 1, City Commissioner Tony Aguirre. And from District 4, Mr. Rudy Castillo. And you'll hear from Mr. Castillo a little bit later in our program as well. From Quinta Mazatlán, Executive Director Colleen Hook. Also a longtime supporter of Houstonville here, Miss Dora Brown. Director of Keep McAllen Beautiful, Miss Chris Lash. And then also from the McAllen Education Foundation, we have Jennifer Stone and Jamie Brown Rosas. And also with us is Miss Christine Wallace. And let's get started. We're going to start with our mayor, the mayor of Houstonville here at Houston Elementary, fifth grader Sofia Ramirez.
My name is Sofia Ramirez, mayor of Houstonville. I have been a student here since first grade, and what a privilege it is to stand before you today as a fifth grade student at our tiny forest inauguration. This tiny forest provides big opportunities for the students at Sam Houston Elementary and future generations to come. First, the tiny forest will serve as an outdoor living science lab. Picture this: students seated on a mesquite tree trunk surrounding our teacher who is explaining the parts of a plant using a real live plant in a tiny forest. Or imagine a class of little scientists exploring and classifying the different leaves found in the tiny forest. So much potential. The tiny forest will also develop students' love for the outdoors of the natural world, and as a result, it opens the door to explore critical discussion about world issues such as climate change, sustainability, pollution, and drive positive action for our planet. Thank you all for making a difference in Sam Houston students' lives, one tree at a time. A tiny forest helps create big possibilities for our community. Thank you.
And now I'd like to bring up our new superintendent. He just joined us in November. He is, of course, a McAllen I.S.D. graduate himself, the first such McAllen I.S.D. graduate to ever become superintendent of schools. His dream come true. Please welcome Dr. Rene Gutierrez.
Thank you and good morning. First of all, I want to thank the mayor. Thank you, Mayor, for the wonderful speech. On behalf of McAllen I.S.D., the board and the staff, we want to thank all the donors for making this possible, this tiny forest, and for kids to learn more about our native plants and trees in our area. And so thank you, donors, and thank you everyone for your partnership from the city of McAllen to Quinta Mazatlán, because this is a wonderful experience for our kids to have a tiny forest. When I was a principal in elementary on Arbor Day, we planted about 20 oak trees. And now fast forward to about 20 years later, when I drive through that school, I see beautiful, beautiful oak trees where they made a canopy, and the intent at the time was to build a canopy of trees so our kids can go out and read. And time flew fast. I used to say, wow, it's going to take forever. Well, 20 years later, I drive by that school. Those oak trees are big. They have a beautiful canopy, and I'm sure those kids are going out during the daytime to read under those trees. So the same thing will happen with this tiny forest. In years to come, so many kids are going to benefit by studying outside classroom, and also to be able to become more familiar with our area, our native trees, our plants. And at the same time, we are saving the planet. Just this morning, I was reading an article on CNN that in 10 years, we may not have a North Pole or a South Pole anymore with ice. It's melting in about so fast that within 10 years or so, we may not have that. And doing this kind of projects and teaching our kids about nature and taking care of our planet, it's for their own benefit and for generations to come. So thank you so much to everyone, and thank you for also putting in our kids' minds how important it is to take care of our planet. Thank you.
And now a word from our principal of Houston, Miss Jessica Lowe.
Good morning. As the proud principal of Sam Houston Elementary, I want to thank you for taking your time this morning to celebrate with us. So at the beginning of each school year, our school selects a theme that drives our school's mission and vision. This year we selected Stronger Together, and how fitting for this event as we gained a new partner, Quinta Mazatlán. So we really believe that it takes a village to raise a child, and our village has always encompassed our staff, our parents, our community, our Houstonville partners, and now Quinta Mazatlán. I do want to take a moment to give Colleen Hook, director, a shout out. If we can please give her a round of applause. She was instrumental in leading the Moon Over Mazatlán and coaching us on how to fundraise for this event. And then this vision, this beauty behind me. Thank you, Colleen, and thank you, John Brush. And thank you all again for joining us, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the program.
And now to help kind of put this in a little bit of perspective, we have our coordinator for elementary science, Miss Stephanie Beltran.
Good morning. Oh my gosh, he's like, let me adjust it, and I just messed it up. Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed educators, students, community members, board members, everyone, I want to start by saying I am so thankful to be part of this experience. When Ms. Lowe reached out to have me speak here, not only is science a special place in my heart, but so is environmental education, and that's exactly what this tiny forest is bringing to our students. We live in a very fast-paced, technology-driven world, and more times than not, we see kids with devices in their hands, sitting in front of screens, and when we have an experience like this where we're able to bring the learning outside of the classroom, it just helps to bring a more concrete experience that creates this lifelong learning experience. Here at McAllen I.S.D, through our TEACS aligned curriculum, we support students through a variety of disciplines. We look at matter and energy, force and motion, and of course, organisms and environments. Typically, this learning happens within the four walls of a classroom, right? Students read, they do maybe a little lab, they have an assessment. That is good, right? But when we look at the learning pyramid, when we take active learning, it creates a better foundational experience for our students that creates a core memory. And those are the things I personally can remember going to, field experiences when I was a kid, in elementary school, going out to the aquarium, going to the zoo, doing things with my hands, right? And those are the things that are going to stick with our students. So when we go beyond passive learning and we take them into active learning, it helps to create those concrete foundational experiences. So why learning outside, right? First of all, it creates a sensory experience for our students. I am a mother of 3 children, and I don't know about you all, but currently my backyard is overgrown with weeds. And before I went to go get my husband out there to chop them, because he's always outside in the yard, he always has to cut the grass. I don't know what he's doing back there, but apparently he needs to always be out there cutting the grass, something like that. So my middle child, who's my fun little spunky girl, she goes out there, she's like, Dad, wait, right? As she goes outside, what looks like weeds to us is actually a perfect thriving environment for pollinators, right? There's butterflies, there's ladybugs, and as these plants begin to grow, that's exactly the experiences that our students are going to get to see. They're learning about interdependence in the classroom, how plants and animals interact with each other in order to survive. Guess what? When they come outside, they're actually going to get to experience it and live it. And I think that that's just such an amazing opportunity and experience. And as I look over here at our young students here, how well spoken they were, and just all that she talked about, you know, the conservation and the stewardship. My daughter also, my oldest, is a 5th grader, and she's an environmentalist at heart. I truly think she's going to go on and do something with environmental science. But she cares so much about the environment, right? And there's a lot of real global issues that I think are very important for our students to, you know, really take ownership of. And we provide them with this beautiful experience. I think that's going to help them take ownership and become stewards and not only impact our local communities, but really the world, right? So when we talk about the polar ice caps melting, this generation right here is what's going to help us to think critically and solve those real world problems. No pressure. And finally, I would like to take a moment to recognize my predecessor, Miss Wendy Groller. Those of you that knew her knew she had such a positive impact, not only professionally, but she touched the lives of everyone that knew her. She did so many amazing things for our district, but also for Sam Houston as well. When I was talking with Miss Lowe, anybody that you talk to about Miss Groller, they have nothing but positive and beautiful things to say about her. One of the things that she did when she was serving here with our district is she purchased a pond system that Houston plans to implement within this tiny forest to enhance this experience even more. And they're also going to be placing a bench in dedication to her honor. So I think that's just a beautiful, wonderful thing. So in conclusion, taking our learning outdoors for our students provides these concrete, real experiences that they can take with them and not only impact them today, but create these lifelong, beautiful learning experiences. Thank you very much.
And now, please welcome the Executive Director for Quinta Mazatlán, Ms. Colleen Hook.
Mayor and honorable guests, it's an exciting morning. Growing up, I was passionate about trees, and I still am. I would climb trees all the time. And now I bring my grandchildren, and if they see a tree that they can climb, they run towards it, because that's such a rare experience for children. And as we were developing the Center for Urban Ecology at Quinta Mazatlán, in addition to education, we knew forestation had to be a top priority to green and cool our cities. Our urban ecologist, John Brush, studied tree canopies, especially in the Rio Grande Valley, and found that the average tree canopy in the United States is over 40%. The average tree canopy in Texas is about 30%. The average tree canopy in our home, the Rio Grande Valley, is less than 20%. And then the average tree canopy on our schools, where our treasures spend most of their time, is less than 10%. So we knew forestation, again, had to be a top priority. But so how do you grow a forest in a city in your lifetime? That was a challenge. But luckily, that vision had already been accomplished by a Japanese botanist of the name Akira Miyawaki. He used to travel outside the city and go to temples, these sacred sites that were surrounded by small forests. They were remnants of a larger forest that used to be there. He studied these forests. He studied their density. He studied the diversity, which had over 30 different native species in these tiny forests. And he said, one day, I'm going to build a forest for my people in my city. So Akira Miyawaki lived a full life to 93 years of age. He passed in 2021, and he is credited for planting over 1,300 tiny forests across Japan, yes, 1,300, and neighboring countries. So what did Akira Miyawaki give us? He gave us 40 million trees, And I say 40 million trees and growing because he gave us the recipe so we could grow tiny forests. So then you ask, well, how did the city of McAllen, how was their journey in growing a tiny forest? Well, first of all, we had a great teacher, and there are some amazing teachers here at Sam Houston. We had Akira Miyawaki, and he gave us the recipe and the inspiration for growing a tiny forest. Secondly, we had amazing visionaries. The Friends of Quinta Mazatlán is a nonprofit board that has now raised funds for 6 tiny forests. And I would like to ask past and present board members of the Friends of Quinta Mazatlán to please stand and be acknowledged. Danny, Jamie, Joe, Amanda. Danny, is this the last tiny forest?
No.
What are we looking at, Danny?
20 more to go.
Okay, 20 more to go, board. Thirdly, partnerships. You can't accomplish anything without partnerships, and we are so grateful for our partnership with McAllen I.S.D. Because we can take things to a whole nother level. And lastly, the leadership here at Sam Houston is absolutely amazing under the helm of Jessica Lowe and her team. And for this reason, we know that this tiny forest is going to grow and continue to benefit the children and the families and the neighbors here at Sam Houston. Thank you.
And now would you please welcome District 4 City Commissioner, Mr. Rudy Castillo.
Morning, buenos días. Man, wow, Sophia. You can really speak. Now I really want to be camouflaged. We are proud to partner with McAllen Independent School District to help create green and healthy schools with tiny forests. Not too many schools can boast to have their own tiny forest and outdoor science lab. Regarding the secret to growing a successful tiny forest, I've been told by the students that it's about planting native plants. The kids have been studying over 30 native plant species and are here to share their names with you so you can better understand the importance of homegrown forests in every neighborhood and or school campuses in McAllen. God, I'm so amazed with this little forest now. Now this is the second one in my district, so it's awesome. I think it's going to be very beneficial for our kids here at Sam Houston. And I want to thank the principal, Ms. Lowe, and of course I want to introduce that Tony Ezaguirre has a couple of words he wants to say. Thank you.
I'm imposing myself a little. Rudy's doing an absolute great job here in this area in District 4. It has been a truly pleasure working with Rudy this last couple of years, and we're new, you know, to the school, to the city commission, and I will tell you that I'm a Southside boy. I grew up in La Zavala area, okay, and I'm so proud. I'm so proud of this city for. If you look around all of this, a lot of these homes, 300 to 400 of these homes around this whole area is McAllen Affordable Homes that came in and grew and made a neighborhood out of this whole area. I remember Sam Houston Elementary in downtown McAllen, where the principal, Connie Mazatlán, we lost Connie a few years back. An amazing person, and made through the transition of the old Sam Houston, which the city of McAllen bought the property, exchanged it to bring it over here, and built this beautiful facility. For who? For all these beautiful young minds to be able to just feel that this is theirs. Dora Brown, intricate part of IBC Bank, and started what was called Houstonville. And it was the first partnership of creating and teaching our kids what government, the beauty of government. I say that, the beauty of government, teaching them what it is to become integral part of their community. And through the years, and I'm talking 20 to 30 years now, okay? I've seen, these kids and their beautiful minds, principals, teachers, come in here, and it just, these kids are amazing. They're amazing. And the beauty of all the parks that have been around this whole area, if you stand by, if you just go and drive this area, okay? McAllen is a long and narrow city, so sometimes we don't get to the north side, we don't get to the south side if you live in this certain area. We grab the expressway, we do this, and we don't come and see this. We have soccer fields, baseball fields, we have an inclusive park that we built, okay? In this area, all of this area, and it's for you, beautiful people, beautiful kids. It's for you, and that's what we as adults have to recognize, that the beauty is in their growth, and our future is in their growth. So I would just say that it's been a beautiful relationship. It's been great. The school district and the administrators here and the teachers on now and in the past have just done phenomenal work for these beautiful minds. And I've met a few of the mayors of Houstonville and the mayor pro tem, which will come and deliver something here to you also. So they just typify the many others. Many of them cross every single day from Reynosa to come here. Past mayors of Houstonville lived in Reynosa and came every single day here and back. We are one. This area is one, and it's all for the youth, and for the youth that can just keep us going. McAllen is a beautiful, beautiful city. McAllen I.S.D. has done a tremendous job, and we will want to continue this relationship. And for now, I'd like to turn it over to Samantha Gomez, because I'm getting a little too choked here, and she is a mayor pro tem, future of Sam Houston.
This is the story of a great school, Sam Houston, growing a tiny forest today for the children of tomorrow. We already love our tiny forest and wanted you to get to know the names of the 30 different plant species that make up our tiny forest. Since plants don't have a voice, as far as we know, I will speak for the trees, so you too can learn why they are important and their names. Anakua. I am named for my rough sandpaper leaves. My sugary orange fruit doesn't stay on me long, as it's a favorite for songbirds, green jays, and butterflies.
Berlanders fiddlewood.
I am a fast-growing shrub and thorn-free. I bloom and berry all year, inviting butterflies. In Mexico they call me Chaparro Negro, as my leaves are dark green. I am a native to the valley, as I love the sun and don't require much water.
Blackbush acacia.
In Mexico they call me Chaparro Negro, as my leaves are dark green. I'm a native to the valley, as I love the sun and don't require much water.
Brazil.
I am thorny in order to protect my delicious blackberries that ripen in the summer. For the wildlife. People also love to make jellies from my berries.
Cenizo.
I won the award as the native shrub of Texas. I am also known as the Texas sage. Legend has it that I can forecast rain, as I bloom days before a rainstorm.
Colima.
In Spanish, I am often called una de gato, or a cat's claw. Because I'm very prickly on ranches, deer love my leaves, and seeds are eaten by birds such as quail.
Grosita.
Some say I am the very best butterfly plant. My light blue flowers make the perfect landing spot for pollinators of all shapes and sizes.
Elbow bush.
I am one of the first plants to flower, so I'm a must-have for your tiny forest. My early blooms provide nectar for bees and butterflies.
Granjeno.
If you want to feed the birds and mammals, I'm your spiny friend. My fruit is tiny, the size of a pea, but oh, I'm so delicious.
Guajillo.
I have delicate fern-like leaves and love the South Texas brushlands. My flowers look like white cotton balls, and my honey is so sweet.
Honey mesquite.
You can call me the tree of life, as I helped early settlers with shade, food, furniture, fire, and medicine. For another wow, my root system restores nitrogen to the soil for plant growth.
Huizache.
I signal spring by putting out golden puffballs. Did you know I'm cherished by expensive perfume companies that use my flowers? They call me Sweet Acacia.
Lote bush.
I create dark purple fruit for the wildlife, so the animals affectionately call me Gumdrop Tree. I pride myself on surviving in dry, sunny weather.
Mexican ash.
The word ash comes from an Old English word for spear. My wood is hard and was used for making spears and tool handles. I am a great shade tree for your forest.
Mexican trixus.
I am a member of the large sunflower family. So yes, my flower is yellow. I light up the thorn forest as I flower much of the year.
Etama.
I have two trademarks. One, my bark is green. Two, I produce yellow blooms in the springtime. I'm a great friend to wildlife as my flowers produce honey.
Skeleton leaf golden eye.
I am also a member of the sunflower family and love the sun. You can call me Smarty Plant as I like my feet dry, so I am very easy to care for.
Spring mist flower.
Did I hear someone else say they were the very best butterfly plant? Well, come fall, my fluffy purple blooms are covered in butterflies, so plant me too.
Sugar hackberry.
My Spanish name is Paro Blanco, which refers to my light gray bark. My trunk has small nubs on it, so when children rub their hands on me, they say I'm the tickle tree.
Tenaza.
I am a small tree, but powerful. I grow fast, and my fluffy white flowers are a treat for bees, butterflies, and birds.
Tepeguaje.
I, on the other hand, am a tall tree, up to 40 feet tall. Birds love to make nests in my thornless branches. I grow fast, so I can help your thorn forest grow quickly.
Texas ebony.
I have a royal crown, as my rounded crown, or tree canopy, provides deep shade for all. Wildlife thrives on my seeds, leaves, and flowers, so I'm a must-have for your tiny forest.
Texas lantana.
Excuse me? If you live in Texas, you should include me in your landscaping. I thrive in full sun and am covered in orange and yellow flowers throughout the year. A win-win.
Texas sable palm.
I am a native son. My ancient ancestors used to occupy 40,000 acres along the Rio Grande Valley, and now few remain. Thank you for protecting and planting my family.
Texas torchwood.
I am a member of the citrus family, so if you brush against my leaves, you'll smell limes. I sport clusters of white flowers, followed by edible fruit for the wildlife.
Turk's cap.
Some people say I'm their favorite native plant. I am easy to grow, and my red flowers are loved by hummingbirds, soon to be flying around your tiny forest.
Faces Adelia.
My branches are wand-like appearance, so I can make magic happen. I attract rare butterflies, like the beautiful Mexican blue-winged butterfly.
Widelia.
I am also a good butterfly plant, with my golden daisies that make for great ground cover. Look for me along the pathway through your tiny forest.
White brush.
You're lucky to have me, and will want more of me. One of my best traits is that I smell of vanilla when I bloom, to attract insects.
Wild olive.
And to end the show, I present to you my big white showy flowers grown on my tree. Some say my fallen flowers look like valley snow on the ground. South Texas is my home, so thank you for planting me and all my friends in your tiny forest. As we take root underground, you'll begin to see the tiny forest canopy over the ground. We hope to provide you beauty, peace, and enjoyment outdoors. Thank you for planting us in your tiny forest.
How about one more hand for all these students participating? All right, let's have our mayor and our mayor pro tem, if they could stand by our principal, Ms. Lowe. We're going to take a quick photo.